Hello and welcome. In this session, we will learn how to modify a dimension in AutoCAD. Here we have this polygon. We want to modify it, but before that, let's have a look at a new layer which is always created when you make a new dimension, and that is def points. So when you click this drop down, you will notice this def points layer. So this is the definition point layer, short for def points, which is always created whenever a dimension is added. It stores all the dimension points of your drawings. It is always recommended to keep this definition point layer. You should not delete it, and if you try to delete this definition point layer from the layer property manager, it won't be deleted, but obviously you can use ladle tool to delete it. But if you delete this def point layer, the drawing may start to show some errors. Also, the def point layer is on no plot layer. That means the contents of this layer will not appear when you print a drawing. So most people use this def point layer to place objects which they don't want to show in the plot. But I will not recommend that. You can create a new layer and put all the objects in that, and you can turn off afterwards. Now moving here, we have this drawing with some of the dimensions. Now this dimension is divided into 3 parts. Here, let's look this dimension. Now the first part is this line with these arrowheads at the end. It is called dimension line, and here we have extension line, which are these 2 lines. And by default, these extension lines start the point where we click, but small gap is maintained. That is done to keep the dimension eligible so that the dimension can be easily identified from the drawing. Also, the third part is dimension text, which is here. Now we can modify all these parameters separately, and I will start this dimension here. So let's click this dimension, move to this grip, hold your cursor, don't click, you will see plenty of options. Let's start with this stretch, select it, and you will be able to stretch this dimension to anywhere you want. Also, you can select move with dimension line. It will have similar effect on your dimensioning. Now go to the grip, select move text only, and obviously in this case the text will move, but the dimension line and extension line will remain unaffected. So let's go to grip again and select move with the leader line, and a new leader line will be added with its trailing end on the dimension line, just like this. Select again, choose this above dim line, and it will take you above dimension line no matter where the position of text is. Go back again, select this center vertically. We have it here. It is now centered vertically. And let's select the last option, which will reset the position to its default value, just like this. There are also options which are associated with different grips. For example, here we have this diameter. Select this grip. We have only these 2 options, stretch and flip arrow. We have already seen stretch, by which you can stretch the grip point. For the flip arrow, if you select, you will be able to change the direction of this arrow in the dimension line head. As you can see here, the direction of arrow has been changed. You can apply here on this side. I will flip the arrow here also. This flipping arrow can be used at crowded places where the arrow might be overlapping with the parts of the drawing, or if there is not enough space for the dimension text. In that case, you can flip the arrow to generate room for dimension text. The dimension which we add in here is associative, and that simply means the dimension is always related with its parent geometry, and when the parent geometry changes, the dimension updates itself. Now to explain this, I will change some of the geometry in this drawing. I will start with the circle, select it, hold your cursor on the edge. When this red grip appears, you can use to modify the size of the circle. As you can see, the current radius can be decreased or increased, just like this. and this dimension text is updated automatically, and that is because the dimension text was associative. So whenever you change the size of object, the dimension text changes accordingly. Let's do the same for this side. In this case, you have the length of this line, which is 14.69 units. Now let's select this stretch tool, and I will stretch this side of this geometry here and press enter. Now stretch it. As you can see, the dimension is also changing because it is associative dimension. Let's click here, and this is our new unit after stretching. But you can break this associative by simply moving this grip, click and take somewhere here. Now it is no longer associative. If I try to stretch it, the dimension text will not change as we have broken the associativity of this point with this end point. You can again make it associative by simply selecting the grip and moving to this end point. Now it is once again associative, and if you select the stretch tool, the dimension will once again change along with that. So this was all about modifying the dimensions in AutoCAD drawing.